Hello, and welcome to Renewed 1.5.0. In today's update, we finally got around to making an update. It's been a pretty long time. I believe it's been over a month and quite a few weeks too. So it's exciting to be able to have an update, and we've worked on this for a very long time, and we're glad that we can finally have everything, well, mostly ready. There's quite a few bugs, but we're getting those fixed as we speak, in fact. So today we're going to start off with one of the new mobs, and yes, there's multiple, but we have the Rangers of the North, also known as the Dunedain, and there's, we've also overhauled their, what do you call it, speech banks also, and well, they're impressive at pretty much everything. In Legacy, they were the best unit in the game, and it could be possible that they're also the best in Renewed Extended as well. They have the same kind of abilities of being able to turn invisible when enemies are around and then use their bow, and they're only made better because of the new AI that Mevin's made for all the mobs that will be able to fight. So you don't want to mess with these guys. Luckily, at least for those who do want to mess with them, they're pretty rare. So you shouldn't be coming upon them all the time. In fact, I was surprised. I just came to this location and I was shocked that there was even one ranger. Usually you have to walk for like 5 minutes before finding a ranger, and this one just naturally spawned, so I got pretty lucky there. You can probably notice that we're in the Troll Shaws, and like the Troll Shaws is a place you can find the rangers. They should be rarer here though, and then obviously the Lonelands, but they should also probably be a little rarer in the Lonelands than, for example, in the places like Eriador or Minihirith or Ednawaith. And also, eventually, right here in this little area, which is called the Angle, we'll actually add that biome. That'll be in future updates though, and so we'll get to see that, and that's where the rest of the Dunedain live. But for now, we have these Rangers, and there's a lot more to the Rangers than just this for now. But let's go. Oh, thanks for the egg. You can probably have it back though. We could go over here though, and there's a few new items. There is a lot in this update, and so I want to be a little quick with the items. I'm not including everything, in fact. This is just a small snippet of everything that was added. It's actually a huge amount of things. But let's start first with the shield. So just like what Mevins was adding, we're adding faction shields. And so here's the Dunedain shield. And it's just like all the other faction shields in the Lord of the Rings Renewed mod. And of course, you can put it on your offhand and everything. It's all the same, but it's just for Dunedain. And then also, right here, we'll talk about that in a second. We have the new Dunedain bow, which we need to, if you can see, there's no animation for it currently, but we're working on that. But this new Dunedain bow, I believe it's the best bow in the game currently. So, for example, if we compare the longbow, which is also just added, yep, the Dunedain bow has larger stats in terms of range damage and range than the longbow, but the longbow is going to be factionless, so it can be just accessed by everyone, and it'll be a better alternative to the bow. But as you can notice, there are these weapon racks, and they were just added They were renewed for a very long time, and they're, I mean, at least for me, they were super important. It's where I would store a lot of the gear that I got over my travels. So they can be placed in pretty much every configuration that they could have been placed in Legacy. Although I think it was just I don't know if it was the ceiling. I think the ceiling may be new. Maybe I'm wrong. But yep, everything can now be done with the weapon racks. It took a while to code, so it's great to see them. And now, well, you have somewhere to put all the gear that you're going to get, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Now, onto the next thing. Oh, that actually made me sad. I need to place these back down. Then piece of grass. Okay, there you go. Relocated. How about that? The next piece, or pieces, are these banners. These aren't going to be the official mod banners, but these are actually banner patterns. Now, there's a banner pattern for the Blue Mountains, the Durin banner, and then also the Dunedain. And so there's banner patterns for all of those. In fact, probably you can look it up. You have Dunedain, Durin, and Blue Mountains. And then it makes these banners. You can use any color. I just use the faction colors. So here we have the Durin, and here we have the Dunedain and the Blue Mountains. And so these are in the game currently if you need to make them. And let's see, oh, I already have the dye in my inventory. Okay, perfect. Let me get the banner pattern. So how you do that, if you didn't know, is you get a loom, you put in the banner, you put in the dye, and then you get all these options, of course, like normal. But if you put in the banner pattern, then you only get one option. And there we go. You can make the Blue Mountains banner in this case with this banner pattern, or anything else that you need to make. Let's see. Okay. And then behind, we have all the new Rohan beams. Well, half of them are new, half of them aren't. So here's the normal Rohan beam, of course, and the golden Rohan beam. And they're rotatable now and everything. But those were in Legacy. Those were expected. What wasn't expected is the ornate Rohan beams, which are new. And as you can see, when you place it, the texture expands and changes, and it's just epic. It's just amazing. So there's the golden variant of that as well. And so that is going to be something that I'm sure all the Rohan players, are there a lot of Rohan players? Actually don't know. But for the Rohan players out there, they'll be super excited for all of these, and it'll probably help to make things like the Golden Hall and everything special. Okay. And then, let me just go for a small walk here. Oh, and what's this? It's so much smoother than before. Wow. Yep, we've added slabs of pretty much all of the variants of paths. And so, let's see, let me clear my hotbar here and take these down. In pretty much everything that you could find in terms of dirt, there is a slab variant. And so, and these can all work the same as just normal grass. For example, say that we place some dirt away from all the grass, you can actually place a grass path, or not a grass path, a grass slab here, and it will actually spread to all these blocks. And so it works just the same, and you can also do it sideways. So, and it's the same with all these slabs. So now making paths should be a lot smoother and nicer. And I don't know if it'll be implemented into the actual roads already made by Mevans, because That's just in the renewed mod, and we're trying to extend beyond that. That was a lot just for, you know, one update, but like I said, this isn't it. And in fact, in my opinion at least, this isn't even the biggest thing. You see, if we go over to the Lowlands, which should be over here, and we start flying, we might notice that there's some new structures. Now, I didn't actually generate any of this beforehand, so there may be just no... Oh, never mind. There's some structures. Well, one structure. Maybe more soon. We keep on flying around. And a massive hole. But this is a new ranger camp structure. And you'll find these just generating like around the same places that I was talking about. Just the Lowlands, Minahirith, Eriador, Ednawaith, a few other places. Swanfleet maybe? But yeah, these are massive areas. So you'll find them all over the place. There'll be lots of them. And, well... Okay, I got a bit. I made some of the assets for these, so I'm just kind of... I'm in love with it. But it's all randomly generating. These are all pieces, and so the way that you could think of it is kind of like a village in a way, a very small village. There are these path pieces, and they always will connect to a tent, or so like something like this, an item, and so you'll sometimes find archery ranges, or sometimes find berry farms, and sometimes you'll find tents like these, but sometimes you won't have any of these, and it'll be just all tents, or it'll just be one tent and, you know, 5 of these different items. It completely depends, but there will always be a campfire in the middle. There will always be paths going out in each way, and if there's not, then that's a bug, and please report it. So that's one of the structures that was added. Oh, here we go. I do find that they generally do spawn together. So if you are looking for structures, when you probably when you spot one, you'll find a bunch more all next to each other, and then just empty expanses of land for tons and tons of time. But yep, it's pretty desolate and empty, but this is the empty husk of what you could think of as a ranger house, but it still has a loot chest. So at one point, someone related to the rangers, or just maybe a ranger themselves, owned this house, and now it's been burned down. So you'll find stuff like this. Maybe you'll find a whole ranger house, you know, that's still inhabited, or maybe you'll find an abandoned one, or just a ruined one. There's all these different variants. And and there we go. This is the last structure, as far as I can remember, that was added. Like I said, there's all the variants of the houses, but this is the 3rd structure, and it's the watchtower. It's pretty iconic from Legacy. It's, you know, it marks a safe haven, and oh, that's a great chest. And these are gonna just have 2 chests and a crafting table. That should be it. And maybe 1 chest. I think one of the variants maybe only has 1 chest. But for now, that's what they will always have. And so whenever you need to go and rest somewhere, this is a perfect place to go. And here we are in Lothlorien, and there's actually a few new faces. Yep, some Gladiatorium warriors are just going around, and that's because they've been added. They're new, and they've been ported from Legacy, But it's not just them. It's also Rivendell Wanderer, and I should have got this ready, Gladhiram Wanderer. I don't know if they spawn yet, as in like something will appear in chat and it says, you know, this wanderer has appeared nearby, but they're certainly tradable with, and you could talk to them and everything. And they, I mean, you just put down spawn egg, and I mean, they still have their legacy textures, but I mean, they're here, so it'll be helpful when they do naturally spawn. I mean, they may naturally spawn, I just don't know yet, but when they do naturally spawn, it'll be helpful to find these guys. They can give you some great stuff just while you're traveling through certain areas, although it does require alignment in the future. For now, they actually don't require alignment. I have no alignment. Let's see. With Rivendell, I'm pretty sure. High Elves. Yep. None with Rivendell, and with Lothlorien, I have none. So, and I can still trade, and that still all works. So that'll be an exciting opportunity. And that's pretty much it for this update. There's just been a lot added, and I didn't mention everything like I said before, but the world feels a lot fuller, and in the next update we'll definitely continue to add on to things like the Rangers, and probably not the Gladhiram for a while, but yeah, I mean, it's great to see that the Lonelands are actually inhabited, even though it's kind of contrary to the name. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.